Here's a video detailing my station that I have running here. I wanted to show how easy it is to use this Marauder and the NC303 receiver. I've been using these for AM and SSB, mostly AM, because I love the sound of AM. At any rate, here's the rundown. And there's some guys chatting on AM here. So I use this guy on AM and on sideband. It works both modes. Works great on AM. So I'm basically running this transmitter into this linear amplifier here if I want to use it. I don't have to use it, but if I need more power, I'll crank it up about 120 watts or so in AM and let it run, and that way the finals don't get too toasty. There's the SB200 amplifier here too, but I've been using this Clipperton L because it has more headroom on AM. There's 4 tubes in it, 4 572Bs. I have this little watt meter in line. So outcoming RF from the Marauder, it goes into this watt meter. That will then go into a Dow key relay, which is back here. The Dow key relay is the TI relay between the receiver and transmitter, and that's keyed by the transmitter when you transmit. And then I have this antenna tuner that I use for 40 meters because my antenna is only a 80-foot wire on a 9 to 1 or 1 to 9 unum. So that's my situation here. Antenna's out the window here. There's a little common mode coil there to get out any common mode on 40 meters. So let's go through how you would run this thing. And I've been fixing up this Paragon. It has a phase lock loop issue and it's been a real bear to fix it. Let's get it out of the way here. Whoa, it's gonna land on my foot. Get it out of the way. Okay, so there's guys here talking on AM. So the first thing you want to do is get the transmitter right on top of them. So you can go here to spot, take the spot level down to almost 0, and then go to spot mode here. Make sure you're in AM, which you are, and then increase this a little bit until you're heterodyne. Okay, hear that? And now just 0 it. Okay, now you're right on frequency. Okay, so I could tune the thing up here, but then I would interfere with them. So I'm gonna go down frequency a bit and show you how to tune this thing up. Now we're down frequency, okay? So to tune this thing up on 40, say, make sure you're on 40 meters, which you are. And you can actually pre-tune it using that spot feature. So let's do that. So let's go back where we were on the receiver here. And tune these guys back in. Okay.
KA1BWO with
looks like Jeff turned some power on there. Now you can tune this for
hearing you guys in there.
For max power. So here I could do the drive tune with a thing in spot level here. Just tune this for max. See how we're drowning them out? So that's tuned for max. The plate the same way. Just tune it for drowning them out. And that's good enough for now. Now I'm gonna go down frequency so I don't interfere with these guys. Okay, I'll turn the receiver down a bit. And now to tune this guy up, okay. PTT VFO, this is the drive level of drive to the final. So just crank it a bit. I'm on AM here, and I'll use the microphone to key it up. So now what I'll do is I'll say what kind of power is coming out. Make sure the antenna tuner's on 40 meters, it is, and it's tuned up, that's good enough. So now with the microphone, we're just gonna key it up and see how much power is coming out. There's a little bit. So we'll just lock it on here, lock on the transmit, or you can lock it on with manual here too. Just go to manual and lock it on. And now I'm going to tune the driver pre-tune here. It's for max power. And it was maxed, and we're going to tune the plate here for max power. and it was maxed also, so that's good. Now, you can turn the drive level up and down to look at your drive level. Okay, that's power coming out, so if I crank it up, you'll see the power will increase, and we could do how much? At full crank, about 110 watts, but you can't run AM like that. It'll sound distorted. You want to run AM around 10 watts. And so that brings out, how are you going to get things done on 10, 15, 20 watts of AM? Well, you can use the amplifier. First of all, we're going to check the SWR and make sure things are copacetic here. So here's the antenna tuner, which is also the power meter on it. We're going to go to set here, go to read, and there's a little bit of SWR, but not much. There, now it's gone. So now we're going to go back to 200 watt scale here. And then we can turn on the amplifier. So we'll turn this off for a moment, turn off the transmitter, and we'll turn the amplifier on. Like this. Amp is on. This will enable transmit. Transmit's now enabled. Make sure we're not on SSB. Ooh, I was. Back to CW mode there. That'll lower the plate voltage. So yeah, you can see the plate voltage on SSB goes a lot higher. Anyway, you don't want that on AM, so take that down. Yeah, I took it down. Okay, we're good. And there's our current. Okay, so now the transmit and tune the amplifier up. We're just going to key this thing once again. And the amp will key, and look at the power coming out on the meter here, and we're just going to tweak the plate here a little bit. This thing's already tuned up, but you can see that it's not really doing any good or bad or evil, so that's good. So I usually run AM around, it's 100 watts. That's good enough, with about 10 watts out of the transmitter. You can increase it up a little bit to 150 watts or so if you wanted to. That might strain the finals and the amplifier. I don't know. There's 150 watts. These might start red plating in here. You don't want these things to red plate, so you don't want to see any red plates. So you want to keep that power down and not red plate those finals, meaning the plates will grow red. Bad for the finals. Okay, so that's about it. So we're transmitting now in AM, and that's how to go about it. If you want to transmit in sideband, we're already tuned up now, so I would simply put the amp in high voltage mode here. So there's our volts. Let's see, the volts scale, sideband, the volts increase, back to current. Now we're tuned up for sideband. We're still transmitting here. Okay, shoo, no more transmitting. Okay, 2000 watt scale. And for sideband, I could just flick this thing over to sideband here to say lower sideband like this. And on sideband, you want to take your drive level up all the way. So we're going to go to full drive. And that's it. This turkey's ready to roll on sideband. Audio gain, that's about right for sideband. Okay, and then you can talk to the mic, and if sideband's working, the amplifier will dim out pretty well. So here's the amp on, and here's sideband. This is sideband testing. 1, 2, 3 testing. KB3W testing sideband. 1, 2, 3 testing sideband, and you can see the power is varying on the meters. If I give it a whistle, it might go to almost a kilowatt here. Let's see, we're on a 2000 watt scale. Okay, that was about 1200 watts. Okay, so yeah, watch the amp. So that's a good 1200 watts. This is KB3W test complete. Sorry about the interference. Okay, so that's the rundown on the amplifier. The amplifier here, antenna tuner, and little watt meter here, and the Marauder and the receiver. Okay, so we've covered the transmitter pretty well. Let's talk about the controls here. Well, there's a load control here, tune control. I never use this meter for anything really. I just watch the power, but you can monitor grid, plate, the ALC, which I never really give a hoot about. Reflected power and high voltage. So yeah, look at that. There's an HV setting here. I never really use this, but there's the high voltage coming off into the 6146s. And This thing also has Vox in it, which I never use. So the full Vox complements in here. Relative power adjust for the SWR meter. I never use that. I just use my external meter. And of course, the audio gain for the mic. You've seen Driver Tune now, how we work that. And this thing goes all the way to 10 meters. And it works on 10 meters also. It works on all bands. So, good unit. It has standby. And of course, you've seen spot with receiver. And when you go to manual, that will key the transmitter. All right. So that concludes the transmitter. Turn it off like that. And the receiver, this thing is great on AM. It's just wonderful. So let's do some AMing here on the receiver. The meter on this thing is actually calibrated too, which is amazing. For 1958, got things falling off of here. Okay, so back to the receiver. So these controls are this automatic noise limiter on sideband and AM. Has a tone control. It's got a select, which is your bandwidth, and it's got a bunch of bandwidths here. This is like 8 kilohertz here. I think that's 5. I think these are 3 for upper and lower sideband, and this is like 500 hertz for CW. That's how that works. Antenna trim. CW oscillator for the injection of the carrier. So you can kind of tilt it that way for lower sideband, tilt it this way for upper. I'll demo this stuff. And what's this one here? That's your volume control, of course. Has a built-in calibrator. This knob here is for really getting your frequency centered. Turn your calibrator on and off. This is the band select here. You can see how it selects and changes the bands. Main tuning knob for tuning. This is a fine tuning, so you can push this thing in, and then you can twiddle with the gear reduction here on this big tuner. It'll do AM. That's your accessory for like a photo input. It'll do AM, sideband, of course, and CW. CW is basically like using sideband, but with no AGC or ABC. Okay, and the notch control, which is handy when you have carriers and things that are adjacent to you. To your station and the depth of the notch, you can vary that here, turn it on and off. And last but not least is the RF gain control. So that's all the controls. I run this thing on this headphone jack as I don't really have a decent speaker for it. All right, so that's the rundown. So the AM guys are still broadcasting. So let's take a listen and demo the receiver. We're on 40 meters here. And we'll go to AM. And there they are. Good audio. And now you can hear how they sound good. But we can narrow the audio down by taking the filter down, and you'll hear them change into less fidelity.
We got it pretty much done in pretty short order. So you know, the excavation of it, and bring it out of the
So anyway, you want to run this thing wide open on AM, 8 kilohertz. That's how to do it. A&L. Not much difference. There's no noise run on here. Tone. That works well. And of course, you want to peak this thing, peak the antenna, so you can just peak it for noise. It was a bit off there, so peak it for noise. Now this guy is like 30 over. So that's the AM aspect of it. Here's sideband. There you are. Now we can narrow this up. Less fidelity. And then this has like an LSB USB position. They're called SB1, SB2. I forget how they work, but it's an offset. I never can memorize them, but there we go. Anyway, it takes some fiddling to get this thing just right the way you want it. But it sounds good. NCW. If we can find some. Nope, no CW. There's something. Let's narrow it. So that's a very narrow setting where if there was interference, it'd be gone. So, pretty nice. There's FT8. So I'm running a thing wide open now with sideband at 8 kilohertz, which has the best fidelity, but the most interference too. They aren't very strong, and sometimes you can notch out that noise, so let's see. There we go. That's better. Not bad. There we go. And we could work on some tone here. That's pretty good like that. At any rate, that's not very strong signal, but
give a call to see if we have any other check-ins or ladies of the net. Please come now with your phone sign. This is KB from T.
well, that's kind of cool.
Oh, okay. November 3, Alpha Romeo Papa. That's Noemi over there in Sacramento. I hope you're hearing me. I'm Yeah, we do a little length, but we can try it.
Let's notch that AM station. There, you can see how the notch will really notch that carrier out. Works very well. Okay. That's an AM station actually, transmitting. Let's widen it up. Yeah, lots of stations on at once here. All right, anyway, 80 meters comes to life later on. I don't know if it'll work right now at like 6:30 p.m., but there's 80 meters right there. Oh yeah, it's working. It's busy. Very busy. 80 meters.
Any other check-ins for the net?
Lots of guys way up there, huh? This thing also does 160. I doubt that's busy, but there's 160 right there. Nope, nobody there. Back to 80 meters. Let's get the antenna on direct. There we go. Now 80 meters is wide open. And then we could get the sideband and narrow it up a little bit.
Let's hope it stays small and it can be removed or something
So this M mode, like 3 KCs, is pretty good. And then 8 kilohertz might sound the best. Anyway, 20 meters is probably dead right now, but we'll try it. Here's 20. Always peak your antenna for max noise. Somebody tuning up.
Sierra 7300, it's actually watching about 1200 watts out, 1200, on a hex beam pointed your way. Go ahead, back to you, man.
About 50, 60 miles away from where you are. It's all just outside of Bellevue, just outside of Bellevue, Washington. Over. Yeah, sorry about that, Miss Sandra. Not so cool. Just QRM your transmission. But anyway, good to know that you have a bit of
There's 15 meters. Nothing on there. There's CB band. Whoa, there's people on here. Looks like local people. This is channel 19, I think, here. Local people. Maybe not. 10 meters. Not much going on there. All right, back to 20.
Yes, you'll shed light on that a bit. The bank condition's not too bad this evening, right?
Hey, bring my good friend Mickey down there in Salt Lake, Texas. He is killing you 5 Bingo Buffalo Pork Truck. Yeah, with this, there's another station there. Come back, let's get you on. Okay, Kilo Oscar 6, come back. Alrighty, Mr. Glenn Stone, and what is, I know Cucamonga, what is RCH? I should have figured that out. Well, I've been there 100 times. How you doing tonight? Look at this, your first...
So I always forget that I can't spot on LSB. I gotta have modulation, so I always forget that. Go to AM. Now I'm head running with the signal to go on frequency here on spot. This is KB3W AM testing, KB3W AM testing, 1, 2, 3. So you can tell we're on AM and we're on frequency now, and now we could basically transmit to them if we cared to. Let's tune it a little more. We're on spot. Tune it for nulling them out. Do the plate. There, now we're dialed in for AM for that frequency. Now we could push to talk and talk to them if we cared to. The drive's about right, like that. There, ready to go on AM. Try and null out that carrier. There. Gone. Maybe widen it up a bit or change the tone here a bit. Let's see. That guy is so weak, he's hard to copy. So he's better at lower bandwidth. There. Anyway, that's my demo of the station. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a nice day.